Dr. Mathetha Mokonyama leads the Transport Systems and Operations Impact Area at the department at the CSIR, and he joins us now. Dr. Mokonyama, good evening. Thank you so much for your time. Really do appreciate it. Help us understand here, how are taxi routes determined, and through what process are licenses or operating licenses and permits assigned to routes?
Good evening. Ideally, a municipality, a city, is supposed to have what we call an integrated transport plan. And in that plan, they need to indicate what network they would like to operate. And if there is any operator, like a taxi operator or an aspirant operator who wants to apply to operate on a route, they need to do so in a manner that is indicated in the National Land Transport Act. And the province, together with the municipality consent, make a decision on whether to grant or not to grant that operator the right or the privilege, say, to operate on a route, but it must be based on a plan. But often what happens is that these plans are not there, and where they are there, they are old and not talking to what is happening necessarily on the ground.
Yeah, and so oftentimes routes become redundant, or due to migration, for migration purposes, or urban and town planning changes, routes may change over time. Do routes ever get overlaps to the extent where it might cause conflict between operators on specific routes?
Yes, especially in areas like Cape Town, where you've got a very strong center, a very strong centered city. When the more and more you move towards the center, the routes from multiple areas would definitely overlap. And certain associations may believe that they have the right to certain areas. Others are not supposed to pick up in some areas. So that would certainly be one of the sources for these conflicts. But it is a lot more complicated often than just simple overlaps of routes.
What are the dispute mechanisms of best practice that operators or regulators are meant to employ between industry players and operators when there is a dispute about a route?
Okay, I mean, we believe that the very regulations, the very laws that we use to regulate these routes are not effective. They are archaic. Because in a city context, urban area, you're operating a network. You're not just operating, a set of individual routes. Movements of people is not just from, one area to another. They are inter-suburb, movements, and you need to cater for those things. And that actually makes life much easier for the users. So the biggest fundamental mechanism would be to do away with individual routes and start offering associations the right to operate an area, and then they can innovate on how to operate that specific area. But then, of course, with what we have, the MEC of transport in a particular province has got the right to discontinue a route in terms of section or a taxi rank in terms of section 91 of the National Land Transport Act, and allow for a period, negotiations, between associations that are in conflict. But that is not sustainable. The more fundamental way of looking at it is to license operators in the form of a proper business to operate a network, and then specify the quality of service that you'd like them to offer to end users.
So it would work sort of through a bidding process. The city would say, we are putting out a call for proposals for the operation of taxis in, let's say hypothetically, Johannesburg North and all of Johannesburg North. And various taxi associations would submit bids, and the authority there, being the MEC of Transport, would then put this through let's call it a tendering process, and award an operating license to the best proposal. Is that what you're proposing?
Yes, that's part of it. You want a network to operate like a network, right? And you want the associations or the operators to form themselves into a proper business and operate an area. And they can innovate and make sure that they...
The equitability of different areas will obviously become of dispute, because some areas and some routes are more lucrative than others because of a concentration of economic activity. And that dispute might become so contentious that the operating licenses that are given to network operators might become the subject of continuous and endless litigation. Surely that's perhaps also a big worry on your part.
Look, if the only source of revenue that you have is fair revenue, that is unsustainable. In a network industry, you want to use the land that is within that network. You want to make sure that the very nodes, the retail facilities that you service generate some revenue to the operators themselves. You can negotiate with such property owners. The association themselves can develop property to be able to generate sufficient revenue to cover the cost. So fair revenue is should be a proportion of the revenue that operators or associations plan towards getting.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time and your insights this evening, Dr. Mathetha Mokonyama. Really do appreciate it.